Once upon a time, a poor farmer and his wife were struggling to survive on a mountain, so the farmer decided to leave home to find a better job. Before setting off, he told his wife, "I may be gone for a long time, but I will always remain faithful to you," and asked his wife, "Could you promise me the same?" "Yes, I will wait for you and always be faithful to you," said his wife. After many days of walking, the man came to a small town and found a job. He asked his boss to save all of his wages until he was ready to return home, and his boss agreed. 20 years later, the man told his boss, "It's time for me to leave. Please give me the money that I've earned." The boss said, "You've worked hard and earned a large sum of money. However, I want to make you an offer. You'll take the money, or I'll give you 3 pieces of advice. You can only have one or the other. Think it over before giving me an answer." The man pondered it for 2 days, then told his boss, "I've decided not to take money. Please give me the 3 pieces of advice." The boss then told him his 3 pieces of advice. 1. Never take shortcuts in your life. Shorter and unknown paths can cost your life. 2. Never be too curious, for curiosity towards evil can be deadly. 3. Never make decisions in moments of anger or pain, because when you repent, it could be too late. After giving these 3 pieces of advice, the boss gave him 3 huge loaves of bread for his journey. "Here you have 3 loaves of bread. 2 are for you to eat during the journey, and the last is for you to eat with your wife when you get home." So finally, after 20 years of working so hard, the man went on his way to return to his wife whom he loved so much. On the first day of his travel, he found a man who greeted him and asked, "Where are you going?" He replied, "To a distant place which is about 20 days away if I continue walking on this road." The man said to him, "Oh boy, this path is too long. I know a shortcut that is very safe, and you will arrive in 5 days only." The man began to follow the path suggested until he remembered the first piece of advice. Then, he returned and followed the long path. Days later, he learned that the shortcut led to an ambush. A few days after, he found a small shack in a village where he could rest. He kindly asked the owner if he could stay for just 1 night. During the night, he woke up as he heard a terrifying scream. He rose to his feet and went to the door to check what happened. He was about to open the door when he remembered the second piece of advice. Therefore, he ignored the screams and went back to bed. In the morning, after having his breakfast, the owner asked him if he had not heard the screams that night. He affirmed that he did. Then, the host said, "Were you not curious to see what happened?" And he replied, "No, I was not." Then the host answered again, "A tiger sometimes comes into our village at night. Everyone keeps their doors locked. I am glad you were safe in the shack." The man continued his long journey, eager to arrive soon. After many days and nights of walking, he was very tired, but he finally saw his house. It was nighttime. He saw light coming out from the window and was able to see the silhouette of his wife. But he also saw that she was not alone. He came closer and saw that there was a man with her. She was softly caressing his hair. His heart was immediately filled with hatred and bitterness. He decided that he would confront and kill them mercilessly. However, he took a deep breath and he remembered the third piece of advice. He stopped, reflected, and decided to sleep outside that night. He slept in the midst of the bushes, determined that he was going to make a decision the next day. By dawn, when he was calmer, the man said to himself, "I will not kill my wife and her lover. I am going back to my boss and ask him to take me back. But before I do, I want to tell my wife that I have always been faithful to her." He went to the front door and knocked. When his wife opened the door and recognized him, she cried and embraced him warmly. He tried to push her away, but he was not able to. Then, with tears in his eyes, he told her, "I was faithful to you, and you betrayed me." She was shocked with that accusation, so she replied, "How did I betray you? I have never betrayed you. I waited patiently for you for 20 years. Then he asked, "How about the man that you were caressing yesterday?" And she said, "That man is our son. When you left, I discovered I was pregnant. Today he is 20 years old." Hearing that, the man asked for her forgiveness. He met and hugged his son. After that, he told them all the stories that he experienced while he was away. Meanwhile, His wife prepared coffee and the last bread given by her husband's boss. After a prayer of thanksgiving, he broke the bread. When he looked at it, he found all his money inside. In fact, there was even more than the right payment for his 20 years of dedication and hard work. Moral: life is filled with hardships and temptations, and the only thing keeping us safe from ruin are good values and restraint. One of the hardest tests we all have to face in our lives is to be patient. Often, we need to make sacrifices as a test of our faith and trust in our inherently good knowing side and to the compassionate divines. Our choices can turn out to be critical, but if we manage to stick to that one spark of goodness within us, the outcome is sure to be a positive one. If you like my content and would want to keep up with future updates, hit the subscribe button, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and comment what you've learned in this video.